Alright, let's take a quick look here at our deadlifts using our new Coach's Eye app tool here. Alright, Tyler's getting ready for his pull. He loads in actually pretty nice here. If you look at his starting point right there, that he's got the shoulders in line with the bar, heads up, everything looks good, but unfortunately it doesn't really stay that way. What you're going to find here is the hips are going to rise too soon, head's going to go forward. What we're looking for is to maintain that core angle he has there. So if we begin the pull, see right there, his first move he drives with the legs and doesn't lock the core. So the head shoots forward, makes the lift a lot more difficult. What should we be doing here? Locking that core in that position and beginning the lift by driving your shoulders and head back, so you're always staying behind the bar. And the sensation you're looking for is driving your hips forward and through the bar, kind of like a teeter-totter. So you're driving the hips forward and head and shoulders back. So watch the rest of his pulls. So heels through the floor, drive the heels through the floor, head and shoulders back, hips through the bar. Now if we watch here, our man Brandon, let's see how he does. Now one thing I just noticed on Brandon, I just want to make a quick note on it. If you watch the elbows, be real careful there, that little pump thing you do there, because as it gets heavier, the pump on the elbows, I'm talking about the biceps, that can really tax the biceps. You'll see it on the heavier sets even more. So let's see how Brandon's angle looks. Give him a little line to the bar here. And as he begins, you see the same thing here. His first move is kind of forward there. Again, the hips go forward. Basically same thing. Got to lead with those shoulders, lock the core, and we'll begin. Take a look at his lift there, and we'll begin it in slow motion. You can see what happens here. Gets ready for the pull. Again, that one there, you could really see the where he got forward on that right there. Right here, he begins the pull. Watch the elbows and the bicep thing, and then gets forward right there. So watch the rest of his pulls there. Again, that bicep on that last one, you can really see the right there, that little lock you do. Want to be real careful, that can hurt your bicep. Okay, let's check out our man Brian right before he begins the pull. Gets himself pretty decent. Right here, I remember saying it, you're set up a little far from the bar, so you're starting, you see your angle is a little forward there. And again, a real similar thing happens there, where the head's going to go forward and the hip's going to rise first. If you'll see, your legs are nearly locked out right there. So basically, stiff legging it from that position. What you're kind of looking for is a simultaneous lockout of the hips and the torso at the same time, along with the knees. So basically, you begin the pull right there. Instead of pushing those hips through so far, you want to lock that core and drive the head and shoulders back instead of going forward on it. So we look at a couple more. Again, same thing, and that also might be attributed, you can see right there, that's basically a stiff leg, to set up a little bit further from the bar. Now let's see on this one here. This was 455 right here. Now this one, I happen to remember, he moved a little bit closer to the bar. Let's see how he begins here. A little bit forward, but nowhere near as bad as the 405. Kept his leverages in. But again, really strong back and hamstrings. I'd like to see, keep the hips a little bit lower, lock the core in position, drive the feet through the floor, and then head and shoulders back. Right at this point, I want to see that head really behind the bar at this point. It'll help with the leverages on the lift. You can see those reps there. these are looking pretty good at this point once you set your groove. Here's 500. Much better. Now the speed on this is actually better, I don't know if you notice it, than the 405. Look at that, much better, staying back on the bar. So the 500 was probably one of the best sets you did, and that's why the speed was so much better. You're staying behind the bar, driving the feet through. A little forward on that one. Whenever you get forward on it, it just makes the lift more difficult. Again, that was good. This was better for him than the. Now here's 545. The 545 was perfect. Really staying back on it. Yep, didn't get forward. Now let's look at our man, Matt. Now Matt, overall, as you can see here, really want him to be a bit more explosive in his reps. Very, very strong, but again, a very similar thing. Got to keep that head, shoulders back behind the bar. Overall, not bad, but just I think that rep there was locked out. I just think really with Matt, just got to be a little more explosive on your lift. This is obviously a light weight here for Matt. Really good. Just make sure you lock in and really focus on driving those hips forward. Once the bar passes your knees is when you really want to drive your hips into the bar. See that one right there? If we go back a little bit, that wasn't a locked out rep. What the judges are looking for is shoulders got to be back and hips got to be forward on it. That's 95% there, but you want to make sure you're doing that on every single set. So basically the biggest critique for Matt would just be a little bit more explosive off the floor. Get your reps done quicker. Don't spend so much time doing it. Just explode off the floor, complete the rep, put it down, next rep, and really focus on driving those hips through the bar and shoulders back.